This is piece 171, Ndop, which means portrait figure or statue of King Mishe MiShyaang maMbul. It's from the Kuba peoples of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, or the DRC. It was made in the 16th century or 1500s, and it's made of wood. There are two images. One is of the Ndop itself, and then the other is a contextual image showing us the current king of the Kuba peoples. In 1710, King Mishe, who this statue is made for, or Ndop is made for, was celebrated for being a generous king and having the loyalty of his people. So an Ndop was made of him. There are 7 Ndop statues in the world, but they're scattered through mostly European museums. This one happens to be in the Brooklyn Museum, actually. And this is a map showing you the DRC. And the Kuba people are in kind of the south central area of the DRC. More context is this ethnographer, Emil Torde, who is from, I think, Austria. He went into the Congo and was gathering up all like 3,000 different artifacts, taking them back to museums. And he kind of showed the world the Ndop figure and kind of did a good thing in that he said, okay, the Ndop figure is a visual representation of the Kuba people's history, and their history up to that point was an oral narrative story. And so the Ndop, he claimed, helped explain their history, and he says gave us enough factual data to show that it was like parallel to European dynasties. Nonetheless, he did bring a lot of artifacts out of Africa. The Ndop is the sole double of the king. So whatever happens to the king happens to the Ndop statue. When he's away, it is rubbed with oil to keep the spirits, the essence of the king, entombed in that statue. At death, the previous Ndops are taken to the initiation ceremony of the new king, and there at the initiation ceremony, those older Ndops share their wisdom with the new king, passing on the power. Otherwise, the old Ndops were kept into a storage room where they're preserved and then only brought out for special occasions. Here's another Ndop. Prince Guy Quete here on the right is shown in front of, this is a picture of his father, who is the current king and is the one shown here in our contextual image. And this is King Kotmikwe III. And you can notice here on the current king's clothing that he shows lots of the ornamentation in real life that is also shown on an Ndop. Look at his ankles, look at his wrists, and you can just see he is wearing a lot of clothing that shows how important he is. Prince Guy Quete is his third son, educated in the United States and in England and in France, and looks to be the heir apparent of the throne, but he is the third son, so that is a little bit kind of in discussion. The form, the dimensions of the Ndop are 19.5 inches high, 8 inches wide, 10 inches deep. So here's a cup in comparison to, so you can see the scale. Form, you notice hopefully right away that the head is about 1/3 the size of the body. It's seated frontally. We're looking at the side view here, but he's got crossed legs on a platform. The platform's decorated. And if you notice, all of kind of the edges are rounded. This is a stylistic form. And then in terms of form, the oil that has been applied to this wood is what's kept it in perfect condition. Wood is a common material for art in Africa, but is also a form or a material that decays easily. So this oil, palm oil, has preserved it. In terms of form, kind of moving on to content, is that this face is a symbol of wisdom. And so these are traits that are desired in kings. This isn't a likeness of the King Mishe. Instead, this is attributions that the king would have had. It's more the ideal. So the closed eyes, right? That kind of look of wisdom and pensiveness. Okay, in terms of content on these Ndop figures, all of them have what's called a shodi, which is a hat symbol. And you can see it's a square, almost reminds me of a book, but it is resting on a circular kind of little platform on their head. They've got belts and very decorative and arm bracelets and shoulder bracelets, just like the king wears in person. So they're all showing the prestige of the king. And then each of them has something different, which is this eyeball in the front that the king selects. And this one is a drum with a severed hand in the front for King Mishe, and his left hand holds although I don't see it as super well, holds a ritual knife. So the eyeball varies from Ndop to Ndop. And I guess each Ndop looks different, but the eyeball is particular to the king. So its function is it serves as a portrait of a king's reign. It's kept in the women's quarters also for good luck, and so it serves as a good luck charm, they call it, for birthing, for successful birthing, and it shares a king's spirit, so it's vitally important to the Kuba peoples. Okay, so that's the Ndop, or portrait figure of King Mishe MiShyaang maMbul from the Kuba people of the DRC in the 16th century, made of wood.